Timeskip Hinoto or Timeskip Hinata is the newest character in Volleyball Legends or Haikyuu Legends. And here is a full-on in-depth guide on the different features of this character or style and how you want to play it defensively and offensively with your team coordination. Now let's go over the very basic aspect of this character, right? So this style, right? Let's take a look at the base stats. So the stats of this character, it's got maxed out jump, maxed out speed, right? So this character, obviously, you're gonna be jumping around very speedy, like a style that is, very rare or hard to get, right? And the other stats, for example, the block, bump, dive set, those are just average. Now, of course, the bump, why would you bump? You just give me the enemy like a free set, right? You send an enemy, never use bump. But anyhow, the block, dive, and set, those are all, smack down in the middle. They're just very average, they're very usable. Not a very clear weakness, right? And then the serve is also near perfect. So the serve will also be able to, make the opponents on their toes, as you'd say. Now, what makes this character special is the spike. Now the spike, it's not a maxed out spike, it's not a terrible spike. This spike, right, it's got a unique mechanic. And this mechanic is the fact that it can use momentum to go and, increase the spike's, lethality, right? So this character, basically, every time you move, there's a little momentum bar at the bottom. And if you move in the same direction, then the momentum bar goes all the way to the max. And when you jump up and spike, then it'll be a super good spike. But if you just go, and then you move, and you change direction, then that bar resets. And basically, if the bar is not filled, if it's barely filled, and then you jump up and you spike, or if it's not filled at all, you jump up and you spike, then that spike will basically just be like a really normal spike, it won't be as good. Of course, you can still get points if the enemies are not expecting it, which will be a misdirection tactic that I will explain later on in this video. But basically, what you generally want to do is you want to go max out that momentum bar by moving in one direction, jump up, and then give a very lethal spike. So now I'm going to go over how to play Timeskip Hinoto in a defensive way, alright? So here we have a whiteboard, right? And let's say this side is the enemy team, okay? And this side is our court, alright? And of course these are, out of bounds lines that I've already drawn. So, how do you play it defensively? Well, because this character, right? Sorry if it's a boy or girl, I'm not too sure. But this character, right, has really good jump, okay? Jump is maxed out. Speed is maxed out. And also spike is, as you know, it goes up and down, right? But either way, we have amazing jump and amazing speed. Now what does this mean? This means that this character can go from an offensive position right here back to defense and go back here getting ready if the enemy spikes it down or whatever, right? The enemy does a spike towards the backside. Normally though, a good spike would be an enemy position here, and then you have a bunch of people here, right? But an enemy, hit it down this way. But either way, because of your really high speed, you are able to go from one side of the court to the other side and just go all over the place and try to defend everything, alright? So that is the pro of this character. So let's say, right, I'm over here and I jump up, right? I do a big spike, wow, and then they, they get it, they dive it, and then they set it up, and then when the ball is coming back, I can immediately, go back to here or react to the ball faster because of my really high speed. I can go from defense to offense, offense to defense really fast, alright? So that is a pro about this character. And also the other stats are also pretty well rounded. It's just average, If you if this is the bar, it's just here, the average. So the other stats, they're still usable. You can still block, dive, set. Though you never want to bump in this game. Anyhow, so aside from the defensive capabilities, right? I also want to talk about how you can use this character with your teammates, okay? So let's say I'm playing 3v3, okay? We have 3 people here, alright? So how you want to play this character is, let's say you have you have 3 teammates back here, okay? And the enemy's setting it over. Serving it over. They serve it, right? And then one teammate, let's say this teammate goes, gets the ball here. The ball goes up in the air, and this teammate comes over here, sets it. This is you. What you want to do is you primarily want to just get a running head start, jump up and spike it. Now you either, run to the middle or run to the side here. Preferably, you do want to run to the side, as to the side, you will be, like, I guess, you'll have a better angle, right? Of course, a really good spike is you have the side here, and then you hit it to the opposite side here, right? All the enemies have, like, blockers over here. So, that would be ideal, but you could, tell your teammates, hey, I'm running to the middle, so whenever the ball comes, and this teammate comes and it sets it, always tell your teammates to just set it in the middle, or whatever you want your teammates to set it to, because communication is key. Preferably, you gotta in voice comms, right? And then you tell your teammates, hey, come middle, or hey, serve it to the right. And then, they set it there. And then you always want a running head start, because as we know, the spike gets better with momentum. And then you jump up and then you spike it. So the best spots over here, as I said, but also in the middle, right? When you go here, you're running here, you could, if you're there early, you could pretend as if you're facing in this direction, which is the direction that you're running towards. At the last second, you use shift lock or whatever, and then redirect yourself like this way. And then when you jump up and then you spike it, then you'll hit it this way. But the only thing is that if you do that, then you will lose your momentum and then your spike will become bad. So if you want a really strong spike, then your spike will become predictable as you're running in one direction and you have to spike in the same direction. But if you want a very unpredictable spike, then you can run here, and the enemies are thinking, okay, this guy's playing Timeskip Hinoto, so he can't change direction. This guy cannot lose his momentum, right? He has to, spike in this area. Then they'll all gather in this area, and that's when you can use shift lock key, and then you can just redirect yourself and hit it to the other corner. Post editor here. I'm actually streaming on Twitch, so if you want to check that out, click the link down below or in the comment section.